So here we are, another day, another F1 My Team episode. This one is the Japanese Grand Prix at Suzuka. Now before we jump into this, if you haven't seen Singapore, the last round, go check it out. Lots of rain, go watch it because it actually is really key for the championship yet again. And there was a big result. So in this episode, we have work to do. Spoilers are ahead, so last chance to click off now. But as you can see, after the race, I went ahead and took care of some upgrades. We had a failed front wing upgrade, which I went ahead and repurchased. I also purchased a new plank. But let's talk about the season so far up until this point. So, Nico Hulkenberg has won the last two races. We only finished in P9 in the last round. So, Hulkenberg has a very healthy 18-point lead, or 26-point lead, sorry, heading into this race. It's a race win in his back pocket. Verstappen and Leclerc also have been slightly out of tune lately in the last few races. But yeah, things are looking really good for Nico Hulkenberg right now. And also, Alpine, McLaren and Mercedes bring huge upgrades this weekend. Alpine getting themselves in the fight, McLaren getting themselves in the mix, and Mercedes second best and right behind us. After practice, Red Bull 1-2, we finished down in P12, a long way off the pace, 1.1 seconds away. But admittedly, I feel like there's more pace to be found. So it's going to be interesting because this title fight is red hot. You know, it's very much Ferrari versus Red Bull versus Mercedes versus Ferrari. Now McLaren are in the mix. And yeah, things are all kicking off. After practice, I went ahead and finally put on the remaining brand new components for the engine because this is somewhat of a power circuit, so I want to make sure we have that available to us. But yeah, as I was saying, you know, it's all season long it's been me versus Hulkenberg versus Leclerc versus Verstappen. But then recently, Checo's got himself back in the mix and is now, you know, the leading Red Bull driver in the championship. Sainz kept himself in the mix. Russell's been super strong for Mercedes, and in many ways, it's a seven-way fight for the drivers' championship. And in the constructors, it's us versus Red Bull, but Ferrari is still there. Mercedes is still really quick, and now McLaren and Alpine are getting really strong as well. And it's all just kind of coming together and creating chaos at the right time. And this has been one hell of a season. Nonetheless, first lap in Q1 is a 29.0 on the medium. Not a good lap. I've been struggling for balance all weekend. I've got a setup on, which I use in league racing, which is very quick, but for some reason, with these My Team cars, it feels very on edge. Like I feel like I'm driving on ice. As you can see there, we have a bit of moment through the exit of turn 2. Heading our way now through the S's, looking to try and improve and get through on these medium tyres. We're currently P10. We're up by half a tenth as we head up the Dunlop curve. On the exit though, we just have a moment there and lose a bit of time as I try to, you know, commit into the deck, as I also tried to push, but there was no real time to be found, and I kept on pushing throughout the lap, but I just wasn't able to go faster. So yeah, we're going to finish the lap about a tenth down. I do get a decent exit, but it's not going to be enough. Even though we go purple in sector 3, the pace isn't there right now on medium. So soft tyres to the rescue, and that is exactly what they're going to do for us. We're currently P15. We're only safe by about a tenth, so we have to improve, and there's faster cars behind us that will jump up the order, so we need to set a better lap, and that's exactly what we've done. You can see now 7.5 tenths up here through sector 2. This looks a lot more on the pace as we head through 130R into the final chicane, braking at the 100 down to 4th gear. Inside curb through both apexes, 52 brake bars as well, just to keep the car stable on the braking. And now up to the line, we improve by 8 tenths and set a purple sector 3, moving into the top 6. And that, for now, will keep us out of trouble. So job done for us in Q1 and a better response. And in the end, actually, kind of going back to my point at the start of the episode, it's getting really close. McLaren, Ferrari, Mercedes, Red Bull, Alpine, Mercedes, Ferrari, I don't even know anymore. Literally, all of our teams are getting so damn close. And that top 6, or top 8 in this case, split by less than 2 tenths. It's genuinely super competitive. Heading into Q2 now though, soft tyres on the car once again. This is the used compound that we had at the end of Q1. I outbraked myself quite badly through the chicane, and that is going to cost us a big chunk of lap time. Up to the line though, we keep it a little bit tighter as things are starting to ramp up a little bit in terms of pace. We say 28.7, which isn't spectacular considering, you know, we did a 28.2 in Q1. So here we are, final attempt in Q2. We're going to see if we can set a better lap time. And let's see if we can try and get a clean lap. Because so far I have been struggling to get a clean lap together because of the car being so on edge. Here we go. DRS wide open then. Down to turn 1 and turn 2. It's kind of all in one, but then again 2 separate apexes. At the 50, turn in, little dab of the brakes, and then get that second apex as you use all the run-off curb into the S section now. So turn 3 into turn 4. Try to avoid the inside curbs, only hit the inside of turn 3. The rest of them you want to stay off, as it can spin you around pretty much instantly. Now up through Dunlop curve, this time not running wide, keeping it nicely within track limits and staying nice and tight as we're 3/10 up. Now into the Degners, Degner 1, beautifully done. Degner 2, also beautifully done. Lost a little bit of time, to be fair, driving a bit too safe, but we kept it, overall nice and clean, and that's exactly what we want. Into the hairpin, third gear, rotate the car nicely through there, easy on the traction. We do pick up a little bit of wheel spin, which does compromise what was a very good hairpin, and we end up, falling back to what was our original advantage. Up at the spoon, at the 50, brake and turn in, 6th gear, then down to 5th for the second apex. Get a late apex as well to kind of help square off the corner, as yet again, more issues with balance as we oversteer out of spoon curve. Now then, brake bias up to 52 for the final chicane, flat out through 130R and spot the braking. The 100-meter board is your friend. Down to 4th gear, lots of inside curve, this time not outbraking ourselves and keeping it nice and clean, and that gives us a big chunk of lap time. Keeping it tight up to the line here, as this could cost us. Luckily, it's purple in sector 3, it's a 28.2, we match our Q1 lap, and that is P7. Are we through? Yes, we are, just in P10. Wow, okay, so good progress. I'm glad we're in Q3, but there's definitely a bit of pace to be found because we're on the back foot here. Hulkenberg, P6. And yet again, the gap's looking pretty damn close. Especially that top 6. Really competitive, especially even more the top 5. And it's all to play for. Seems like Hulkenberg lacking a little bit of pace this weekend compared to the last couple of races where he's qualified in the top 2, top 3. But here we are then, Q3 time. This is a used set of tyres, as always. The tyres that we used to get into Q3. We set a 28.4 banker, which is 2/10 off and gives us last place. So it's all down to this, the final attempt. And this one you guys will enjoy with engine sound. Then we'll see if we can improve on our personal best of a 128.2 and jump off the bottom of the table. There we go then, P6 for us in qualifying, and to be fair, that was a really, really good lap. Pretty much the best I could have done. We clutched up at the very key part of qualifying. Track evolution also playing a part, as everybody was easily in the 27s, and that was pretty obvious to see because the pace was much better. Ricciardo confirming McLaren's improvement, and also Norris in P9 as well, both of them in Q3, but Ricciardo of course was second for most of the last race and doing pretty damn well, so showing good pace yet again. Russell on pole, the surprise package, the Mercedes upgrades working well for him. And there's a bit of a mixed up grid. Crucially though, Verstappen and Leclerc are around us, but most importantly, The championship leader Hulkenberg is in P10, so we have an advantage. So guys, qualifying done, we're now going to move into what could be a critical race for the championship.
Welcome along then to the magnificent Suzuka International Circuit, a stone's throw away from Issei Bay in the beautiful Japanese countryside. What surprises lie in wait for us today in the Japanese Grand Prix? A lap of this historic racetrack covers 3.6 miles, the only time during the season we race on a figure-of-8 circuit. And the drivers can expect some intense G-forces through the 18 corners on offer here as they experience some of the highest average apex speeds on the Formula One calendar. Keep an eye out for overtakes into the final chicane. Before we begin, let's take a quick look at the grid lineup for today's race. It's Sergio Perez on pole today, Charles Leclerc alongside. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Martinez, Hamilton, Fernando Alonso and Russell. Ricciardo, they've taken a grid penalty. Ocon, Mick Schumacher and Alex Albon. Hulkenberg, Magnussen, Valtteri Bottas and Verstappen. They'll be starting further back after an earlier grid penalty. Stroll, Norris, Sebastian Vettel and Nicholas Latifi. They've taken a grid penalty. Joe, Gasly, Tsunoda. Carlos Sainz will start from the back of the grid. And now it's time to head down to the track.
Now, even though we qualified P6, we're starting from P3, so that is insane. Great slice of luck for us. And again, the timing on when we've taken engine parts has worked out well. And we've benefited because we're not taking a penalty today, whereas George Russell, the pole sitter, and a bunch of other cars are also going backwards. So Checo Perez is on pole. Charles Leclerc is to our right in second place. He is the main target. As for Nico Hulkenberg, he starts from P11, the championship leader, starting outside the points. So today could be a massive turning point in the championship. A win today would go a long way to really help us take a step closer and really lock in that fight between myself and my teammate Nico Hulkenberg. So strategy-wise, it's going to be a medium to hard tyre. One stop, very simple, no issues. Fuel-wise, 1.2 laps of fuel. Car feels good. I'm not going to make any changes. That last qualifying run, it all kind of came together at the right time, so I know what I've got to do. But let's get into it. It's still going to be tricky. The car, while feeling good in the right zone, does also feel on ice at different points. So I'm going to be careful. I take this result right now. This P3 of Hulkenberg P11 would be a great result, which I'll take straight away, but I want to try and win. For now, though, let's focus on getting a good start and at least losing no places. Here we go then. This could be a massive race in the championship. Got a decent bit of tyre temp already. And we've got a bit of a run up still till we start the race. So we're going to just rub the tyres up a little bit before we get going. Very good tyre temp. We'll see if we can get a good start. That is going to be so important. We'll move to the inside a little bit to point a bit aggressively to defend if needed. That's perfect, 0.1.
Okay, so that's the rest of the grid forming up now. Be patient and watch for those lights.
As always, leave a like and subscribe. Predictions down below, and let's see what happens here in Japan. Lights out and away we go. Hamilton gets an excellent start. Down to turn one we go. On the outside, we're not able to make it work, so we're going to have to just fall in line here. Behind Lewis, Checo holds on to P1, so that's good. Crucially, Leclerc doesn't get by. Although I think Perez is ahead in the championship, I'm happy with Perez in front as Hamilton gets out of shape. Of course, we've seen heading to this weekend, the Merc is strong. The upgrades have worked. Russell with a good start up to P5. Of course, the man who qualified on pole. Yeah, right now just trying to find our groove with the heavy tank of fuel on the medium tyres. Russell looking to put the pressure on as we head into the hairpin for the first time. Already dropping back a little bit here. The good thing is, unlike the past 3, 4, 5 races, I think we have got some decent straight line speed, so we're going to use that to good effect, and it's going to serve us well in terms of defending. But I'm going to crack on now and see if I can stick with Lewis here. Very important that we don't get overtaken. You can see here the straight line speed is insane. Bit of a moment there. I'm very slow through the first sector. The S's are painful for me, but I can tell you now, we are extremely fast on the straight. So we're going to be making some moves here today. We just gained so much in that final sector, especially next lap once the AI turn their engines down. We're going to start to make a big difference in terms of straight line speed. We're going to be one to watch out for. So Checo absolutely flying. DRS now enabled. We're 1.3 away from Lewis, but we will have DRS thanks to our absolutely insane straight line speed. We're going to get within range. But Leclerc seems to be the one that may be struggling here. Hamilton showing that the improved Merc is seriously quick. Not quick in the straights, but quick in the corners. Checo going even faster on the second lap, so he's extending his lead. We're looking okay at the minute. We're losing a lot in the first sector, but we're making it all up on the straights. They have a chance here. Hamilton gets out of shape through Spoon. I think we're going to look for the move here. You'll see just how ridiculous our straight line speed is. Look at the closing speed. I'm actually going to have to lift to not lose momentum through 130R. There we go. On the outside of Hamilton, we leave plenty of space. I do not want to get floor damage again. I'm sick of getting floor damage. And there we go, we're through. P3. Let's chase after Leclerc. Let's quickly get within a second here. Look at the straight line speed. It's insane how different our setup is compared to the AI. But our car is looking very strong for race trim with this straight line speed. We're able to just recharge ERS so easily. And we're still kind of holding off with the corners okay, so it's worth the trade-off of having an unstable car. Personal best, 1 minute 30.8, albeit with DRS, but anyway, gap to Leclerc and Hamilton about the same.
We're approaching the pit window now, and you're going to be on hard next time.
So there's the update. I might try and extend it, either way. Another personal best. Hamilton now dropped out of DRS range. We can win this. This pit stop phase could also be key. Make that 3 personal bests in a row. As we now approach pit stop phase, this is going to be key. Right, both Leclerc and Checo are pushing now on this lap. So I think this is going to be their in lap. I'm actually out of DRS range. I'm going to start for one more and try to overcut. And we're going to see if I can make the overcut work. I feel like me matching them on the same strat isn't going to work with the cold tyres, but if I can maybe get track position over them, that could work. And Leclerc does box. Here we go. Let's push like crazy this lap. Let's see if we can make it work. More cars are going to pit. Let's use all our battery.
Green flag.
I've got a yellow further back, to be fair. Could be interesting. I think it's Ocon. Or Russell, not sure. George Russell. Wow. A pole man out the race, and that will rule him out of the championship. Unfortunate one there for George, as he's out the race. We're going to use everything now. As you can see, we're going to just try to overcut Leclerc. So we're giving it everything on the in lap. Going for the hard tyre, which isn't going to be great. It's going to be a painful one to heat up, but I've got pretty hard tyre pressures. Checo still stays out, so he's going for the soft tyres maybe. We're going for the hard tyre. We're going to try and race Leclerc here. Checo might go for a set of softs, so we might actually get a slight undercut on him, so he may be behind us, but then he'll be on fresh softs. So even more important that we're ahead of Leclerc possibly here.
Nico's coming in for his stop now.
2.4, good stop. Won't affect Hulkenberg. I think we're going to get Leclerc here.
Okay, stay clear of the white line on the exit. We'll receive a penalty for dangerous driving if you cross onto the track.
We're out well ahead. Leclerc's behind Hamilton, so Leclerc got stuck in traffic. So that's P2 for us now. So we're racing Checo for the win. Every moment now is going to be key until he pits for the soft tyre, and Checo pits. So that's going to work out beautifully for Red Bull. Really good strategy. We're not going to undercut him, as my lap has been fine, but I know it's not been fast enough. You know, I can't warm up the hard tyre that they are do. So Checo will be out ahead, but he'll be on a cold hard tyre through the S section. We're going a nice and warm hard tyre. Let's see what the gap is. Looks like way bigger than before. Yep, 9 seconds. We've lost so much, 5 seconds, okay. Lost about 3 seconds, but now we're going to have the benefit of nice warm tyres to push through the S's. So the first lap is a fastest lap on the hard tyre. Not great, not as fast as I hoped for, but still, gap 2.6 to Checo, so we've lost, all in all, in the pit stop phase, I'd say about half a second. So the chase is on. Can we win this race? It's not going to be easy. Let's try and reel him in lap after lap, bit by bit. 2 in a row. With the crook of that lap, gap now 2.2 seconds. Let's keep it going. 10 laps to go. Pushing like crazy now. I can smell it. I can see it. The championship is before me. 30.1, gap 1.5. We'll have DRS on the next lap if we have another lap like that. Not quite going to get DRS on this lap. Perez responding, but still another strong lap from us, and we're going to match our personal best. 0.2. I'm out of battery now though, so I'm going to take a lap or two to recharge things a little bit. Okay, this could be the lap. Let's try and close in. Had DRS now Checo for a couple of laps, so I've been able to save a bit of battery. Gap 9/10. You're going to see now we're going to be right on his gearbox by the time we get to the chicane, and then it's about getting a good exit onto the main straight. Here we go, closing, closing, closing. We'll close out massively through the chicane, or sorry, through 130R into the chicane. Easy does it now through here. Checo has a slight moment on traction. My exits aren't the best, but we're close enough, and here we go. This is going to be easy. We're going to eat him up. Look at that. Absolute cheat code. 2019 Ferrari engine on absolute steroids is what we have in the back of our car.
5 laps of fuel remaining.
Now we just got to try and drop him and get him out of DRS, which should be fine. We're going to have to put the pressure through the corners, but once we get past this, we'll be okay. And there we go. Now we can drive off and do our thing. Let's see. Gap was 6/10, leaving the corner. Exit of Spoon. And there we go. We've already got it. And we're on for our fastest lap, so let's see what this lap is, as this will most likely secure the point. This straight line speed is just insane, man. Don't know what has happened, but I'm happy it's a thing. Let's confirm the fastest lap by running battery to the line. And there we go, 29.6. Let's bring this one home. This is a huge W if we can hold on. I want the extra point, so I'm pushing. I've saved that battery again, and I'm going all out once again. Absolutely flying. I want to get every single point possible, as this could be huge for the championship with Hulkenberg not finishing in the top 5. Here we go then. We dominate in Japan in the end. What a performance. What a win.
Nice! Very nice! Oh, you worked hard for that one. Congratulations. Well done.
They've done it then, here at Suzuka, a brilliant win on the beloved figure of 8 circuit. Tell me, Ant, how did they manage to achieve this win?
I think it was clear what the main contributing factor out on track was: speed. I know it sounds like an awfully reductive statement, but fast cars win races, and we saw that today with our winner.
The faces of our top 3 look so incredibly happy as they make their way up to the podium. A much-deserved victory and a brilliant performance from them all.
Now that was intense. In the end, complete obliteration, race win, and fastest lap. A maximum 26 points here today, and we put the dagger in. Checo P2, Hamilton P3 beats Leclerc on the very last lap, which is huge for the championship. Alpine with their improved package P5, P6, and I'd argue they're in the mix now as well, along with McLaren, which is pretty insane. Hulkenberg in the end only 8th ahead of Magnussen and Schumacher. Albon at the points, so is Carlos Sainz, who goes from last to P12, not the best recovery possible. And then further down we have Verstappen down in P16 a very poor showing from Max, and this is going to have massive repercussions in the championship. So a ripple gets sent through as we are currently 4 points behind Hulkenberg. There's a 17-point gap to Checo, 13 gap to us, and then Leclerc holding on. Verstappen losing grip of the championship. Russell, P6, with that DNF, just drops away to 53 points. Sainz officially out the running now. It's still arguably their top 6, but things are tightening up and things are getting very intense. In the Constructors, we extend our lead to 45, and that could be deciding. That could be critical. I think we've got a great chances here to win both titles, and if this is the last season, which I think it will be, I can't think of a better way to go out. So guys, stick with it. More action on the way as we head into the final rounds. Australia, Jeddah, Bahrain, Abu Dhabi, all up next, so stay tuned. But leave a like if you enjoyed, subscribe for more, and yeah guys, I'll see you in my next one. Until then, take care, and that's goodbye from me. And as always, check out the 2 videos on screen. But yeah guys, cheers for watching.